Welcome to episode 9 of Banter, Real Talk, Real Life with me, Annie Wagner. I am so excited about today because I have my first Banter guest. And, doing this podcast, obviously it's me on my own and I'm loving it. But the whole goal was to have lovely, interesting people come on and really just having a good banter. And I think the first one is a cracker. So please stay tuned and enjoy my interview with Lise Thorne. I'm Annie Wagner and welcome to Banter. Real talk, real life, and just enough chaos to keep it interesting. So grab a coffee or a glass of wine, relax and open your mind, and let's go. So today I'm joined by someone who is incredibly inspiring, who's also been a real motivational force for me in my short journey so far doing this podcast. Lise Thorne has 2 Instagram accounts, The Money Conversation and Walking This Way, and has just launched her new podcast. Welcome, Lisa.
Oh, Annie, thank you. This is the first time I've been a guest on a podcast since launching my podcast, which I launched just after your podcast. So actually that connection for us, the podcasting kind of Instagram connection is quite new.
It's new. And, even though we've known each other through the years, one of the things that I just wanted to mention was in September, this is before I started my podcast, I was just looking at Instagram and you popped up. I hadn't seen you before. I didn't even know you were doing, the accounts.
Yeah.
And literally, Lisa, the very next day, I went to a friend's party and you were there. And it was so funny because it was almost like, this is so weird. You know how that happens?
Yeah.
And then I spoke to you then and I said, Lisa, I'm planning to do my podcast. And the thing that was so amazing was that you were just so warm and kind and lovely. And I mean, not that that's a surprise, but
there are days, ask my husband.
It really meant so much to me because I was just like, I mean, even now I'm like a little no one in the little fish in a big pond, right? But actually, from the beginning, you've just been so lovely, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, Annie, thank you. And I remember seeing you at that party, and you were telling me we were very grandly sipping.
Yeah.
We were sipping champagne, and you talked about launching a podcast. But my number one thing, I'm going to challenge using the words "I'm a little nobody."
Yeah, I love that.
Because who is listening? Who are you helping? You have no idea. So that's number one. And Walking This Way has been about midlife, women in midlife, because I think we're magic. We're literally magic. We've dealt with elderly parents. We've got kids. We've got young kids, teenage kids. We're experiencing absolutely everything. And we've got so much wisdom. We have got wisdom to share and give. Sometimes we're a bit overwhelmed and we can't do it all. Sometimes we're in people-pleasing mode or fixing mode. But when you said about it, I was like, fabulous. And you also said to me, which is really interesting, 2 things. You gave me confidence because my podcast, I knew I was going to do a podcast, but I was just ignoring the chap, Tim. Let's keep Tim happy. I was ignoring him because I was frightened. Actually, is the truth.
My God.
Because we're all fearful.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to step out there. So that was the first thing I was like, okay, I can do it. And you launched really soon after that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was literally like the next week.
Yeah. And I was like, I have to listen. So that was number 1. And number 2, I hadn't worked out, and I'm still not very good at it, if I'm honest, how to do a podcast where I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And you do it beautifully.
Honestly,
beautifully. I listen. There's very few podcasts I listen to, but I always listen to Banter. Oh no, and I'm on it now.
Yes, so
I forgot.
Fantastic. Oh
So,
my
yeah.
God. Well, actually, this is a good point to just bring up something you posted the other day, and you mentioned something about imposter syndrome, and it's so funny because you just earlier said, hang on, no talk about being a little fish or whatever, but as I'm going on this journey, like it's been a long time, especially as I've been working my day job
solicitor many years and you just go through the motions, you know it really well. But you do something new and you sort of sometimes you feel like, oh my God, am I supposed to be doing this? Am I just fooling myself? Because actually you get these knocks and someone says no to you or someone's like, a bit negative. You do feel a bit like, I get that imposter syndrome. And then you mentioned it in your reel, and I don't know, it just really helped me that morning.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what you said, but like, how do you deal with that?
Interesting. And I think go ahead and fool yourself. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, what? We're all dead in the end.
Yeah.
So do anything and everything that we want to do. That's the first thing. And secondly, you said something like somebody knocks you and by the way, friends are the last people to support your business, your podcast. I mean, I would consider us friends, but from if I was a close friend, I'd probably say, yeah, I'll go and do it. And forget, because we're busy, not because we're mean. But you said there, people knock you or people say negative things. And how do I deal with imposter syndrome? Well, firstly, I don't hear other people's negative things anymore. What they think about me is their business. It's not mine. So if people say that, I think, there we go. Yeah. Literally, in my head, I'm like, oh no, that poor person.
Yeah.
Like, what are they struggling with to say, why is she there? Why is she doing that? Of course, I've had negative chat throughout my whole life. For the podcast, like Instagram is my home. Yeah. I do 3-minute videos. This is your chat thing. Like I can't tell you or tell anyone listening how difficult it is to produce half an hour, 45 minutes of chat like you do to talk about things. It's not like you just turn a tape recorder, or do I? Not like you just turn a tape recorder on and then talk. You're thinking of ideas, you're planning forward, and that's what I'm learning at the moment. But I think we always have imposter syndrome. I think, I believe Taylor Swift or someone like that will step out on a stage, able to increase the US GDP with a new tour announcement, literally. Like you can be that big and that amazing. I reckon she's still got imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
She has to overcome it. And if Taylor Swift's got it, well,
exactly.
I'll have it too and ignore it.
That's so true. So true. Yeah. It's so interesting though, isn't it? When you embark on this sort of journey and just going back to, Walking This Way, the Money Conversation, your Instagram accounts. How long ago, when did you actually start? Because it was a while ago, wasn't it? And how did that come about?
Well, so there's two. We'll start with Walking This Way. Money Conversation is quite new, but Walking This Way, I went on this retreat in Thailand. That's when I'd say my journey, my transformational journey happened. I was 39. I'm now 49. I went on a retreat, a Muay Thai boxing retreat in Thailand. There's a long story around that, which I won't share, but I came back from that and I started moving every day. So for ages, my Instagram account was about move every day, #move every day. I would just share what I was doing that day, and it could be a dog walk, a swim, nothing massive. Then I decided to do my first triathlon, which I absolutely loved, my baby triathlon, as I call it. And after that, a friend of mine said, I was trying to find a way to walk the South Downs Way, which is beautiful, absolutely stunning. You've probably done small walks along it. And she suggested we do a thing called the Trail Walker. And it was a 100k walk that you do straight through.
Oh my God. How long did that take?
Just over 30 hours and 46 minutes to be precise.
But don't you stop to sleep?
No.
You just keep walking?
You walk. But you have a support team. So you're a team of 4. Okay. You have a support team every 10k. So they will give you, so you don't carry water for 30 hours. You don't have to carry all your food. You've got a rucksack and you've got some water. And then your support team, like when you come in, the day we did it, it was the worst weather in the history of trail walker. It was how they trained Gurkhas. So the Gurkhas would do a 100k walk or run, and on the event there are loads of Gurkhas and Gurkhas' wives, and they often run it, and they can run it, in about 18 hours or probably less. Anyway, so we were on this. If I remember rightly, something like over 300 teams started. The weather was appalling, and we had trained. We did train. We were a team of 4. We did train, and we weren't sure that we were going to make it. You get slower and slower and slower, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, we started at 6 a.m. and by 2 in the morning, you're just like walking around the place. And out of the 300 teams, I think only 120 finished.
Oh my.
Because it was so terrible. It was so terrible.
Jesus.
And not only, you had to have 3 people in order to finish. You weren't allowed to have a team of less than 3. And we finished with all 4 of us. And we were like, yes. And we were in our 40s then. And so hence the account Walking This Way. We were training, and that's when I started sharing my Move Everyday journey. And it's called Walking This Way because we were doing a big long walk.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. I recommend it to anyone. If you want to change your
I
life.
mean, that is a huge achievement.
You have to train.
Yeah.
The thing is, we walked 1,000 kilometres in training for 100.
Oh my God.
And we used to, but with 2 things we had. One was time on feet. We knew we just had to walk and walk and walk and get used to walking. And the other was, it's just a walk around the park. Because we used to train in the park a lot. And we were like, oh, it's just a walk around the park. So every 12, Richmond Park, the outskirts is 12 kilometres. So we'd do a lot of
Rounds.
rounds, and we'd be like, so whenever it was like the next checkpoint, it's just a walk in the park. It's just a walk in the park.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So that's how Walking This Way came, and very much movement was what changed my life. And I've always been on a weight loss journey. I've lost some weight, I've gained some weight. Then I think that I kind of got the handle of it, and perimenopause sets in, and I've like lost the handle of it again, and I've lost my way. That's over 10 years. When I say I've lost my way, I've gone on various different directions.
Yeah.
Movement has sustained me and kept my anxiety the whole way. So that's been the fundamental. And this movement, which I still encourage for everybody, the Move Every Day. And I'm not saying you have to do a triathlon or walk 100 kilometres. Clean the windows if that's what you want to do. Do 10 squats if that's what. If all you can do is 1 squat, do 1 squat. But just do one thing every day intentionally, because it will change your life. Number 1. And the other thing that I've now moved to, which is very much how I see you as well, is this midlife fabulousness, the midlife pivot.
Yeah.
You know, we're all finding our way. So many amazing solopreneurs, women that are sharing information, women that are going off in different careers, and women's stories, midlife women's stories. It's like the old, let's say, I've never said this, but it's like in the old days where the tribes would sit around the fire. And hence, logically, podcasts, because we're telling stories. So that's what Walking This Way is. And then the money conversation, which you've kindly mentioned twice. But a few years ago, my husband and I, 15 years ago, kids were young, we had £30,000 each. And I was really worried that it was going to get frittered away with everything that we had to do and buy and babies. And I said, we need to do something because this is the only money we've got. You know, it's like, this is really important. And now that it's that thing, we've got a family now, we've got responsibilities.
Yeah.
And so I said, what are we going to do? We need to think about how we're going to build for the future and save money. And my husband said, let's put it in a stocks and shares ISA. And I went, what? I'm not doing that. That's too risky. That's too risky. I can't do that. And we were lying in bed on a rainy Sunday afternoon. I really remember the conversation. He said, well, I'll put mine in stocks and shares ISA. And I said, I'm going to put mine in savings. I'm going to be sensible.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was so smug about it.
Yeah.
I was so smug about it. And I put it in cash ISAs. I moved mine every year. I invested, I just moved the cash in sort of like a cash ISA savings account. So it had the tax wrapper on it. And after 15 years, we wanted to buy a house for a project that we were setting up. And I said to James, now over the years, I'd asked him what money he'd got. I'd saved money, I'd been prudent, I'd budgeted. And I was so pleased when I could put more money in my cash ISAs or when I'd moved my ISA. He hadn't touched his. In fact, his was only invested in 1 stock, not even an index fund. And
Had he added to his?
no,
Nothing.
nothing. Over the years, I'd kind of asked, what is it? What is it? And he'd say, I don't know. I don't look at it. I don't know. It was in Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett, richest man in the world. So, you know, that was his 1 stock, was Berkshire Hathaway. So it was a good stock to have. When we came to cash out 2-3 years ago now, 2 years, I had got my 30,000, which I'd added to and moved with Martin Lewis's best advice as many times as possible. to get better interest rates was 107,000. So I'm not sure exactly how much I'd added to it, but I had topped it up. I had 107,000, he had 207,000.
Wow. That is...
And then I was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, he allowed me to leave that conversation smug. I'm saving. I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm the mother. I'm going to keep us safe. I will save. You go and lose your money up the wall.
Yeah.
You go and do that, and I will, and I'll get us out of this with my prudence. And as soon as I did, he said we wouldn't be married if I tried to have that argument with you, Lisa. And I was like, fair play.
Yeah.
And that was the moment where I thought, right, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not, I can't, I now am an investor. In fact, on far too many platforms now because I'm always testing them out. So I am an investor, and I'm kind of on a mission to teach these fabulous midlife women that you're not too late, you're not too old, you're not too stupid. All of those messages, it's not too scary. If we can just, we call it jargon demystified, but if we can just give people the basic tools, it's actually really easy.
Yeah.
And the thing I love most is the feedback that we get all the time. They're like, oh my God. It's like, but also the penny drops.
Yeah.
The penny drops. Because the truth is that money that I put in 15 years ago, I said this to someone the other day, let's just say my £30,000 would have bought me 30 sourdough loaves, which is not far from the truth these days, but an artisan. So,
exactly.
£1,000 each, and I could buy 30. The truth is, by the time the £107,000 came out, I could probably only buy 25, because purchasing power and how inflation rises over time, inflation was rising faster over that period than increase. Inflation was rising faster than our interest rates on our money, on our savings.
I mean, it's quite incredible, because one of the things that I feel, and this is what's so interesting, I mean, I'm 50, right?
Yeah, same age.
And yeah, exactly. Well, you're a bit younger.
I'm taking it.
lead into that year. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll have it. Thank you.
Exactly. But I'm almost kicking myself because it sounds so obvious.
Yeah.
When you see it and you sort of go, oh yeah, just invest in this, put it in this platform, whatever. And actually now it's much easier because you literally have whatever, Marcus, Chip, all these different platforms. They're very easy, whatever it is, right? But I am kicking myself because all these years, especially I've been independent, working, the whole time. And I just... literally the only thing I ever did was put my little bit of money aside for the kids in a savings account, which is nothing. I mean,
not
it's
even the
nothing.
junior ISA.
I mean, it's just beyond pathetic, right? And here I am at 50, and I
no language like that, please.
Yeah,
Keep
but
going.
but I do feel really annoyed at myself because I'm just looking at my situation, and I have to say I'm classic example, Lisa, of. I mean, I'll say this: I have not been good with money. Whatever I have, I spend.
Yeah.
My husband's more of the saver, right?
Yeah.
So I've kind of lent on him.
Yeah.
And this is the interesting part. It's interesting how you mentioned James, and you're saying, well, why didn't you tell me? I find there's a real kind of disconnect between him and me. And even though we're married, we've been for many, many years together, we never really talked about this. It was kind of that was his thing, his area.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of no, women need to take control.
Yeah.
We need to be more independent with this and know that we have so many options. How could I be so naive? I'm an intelligent professional, right? And yet my knowledge on finance or money was just utterly pathetic.
Yeah.
And I know you said don't say negative things, but it was. And here I am now. I'm sort of as I was literally, when I heard about your, Instagram post, I started listening to things and educating myself.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I just thought my husband, who is in a sort of, I mean, he's not in finance per se, but that sort of area.
He gets the world of investing. He understands
it.
Yeah,
exactly. He works for a big company, all the rest of it. I'm thinking, he's just been utterly pathetic. What has he been doing all this time? I mean, honestly, I'm just we could have been so much further, right? Because I just left it to him. And I almost think oh my God, no, this enough. And one of the things I love when I see your posts is it's never too late.
Yeah.
Because there I am going, I'm 50. If I had done this 10 years
Yeah.
ago or 20 years ago, you know, I would have been X, Y, Z amount.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, oh my God, like just take control.
Yeah.
You know, and I almost feel empowered by that,
Yeah.
right? By going, hang on a second. Now I earn X amount a month. Now just put whatever away, whether it's 50 quid, whether it's whatever it is,
Yeah.
in something that is going to grow. And just don't look at it.
Yeah.
Just don't look at it. But it seems so obvious, but it's not. And it's like, but like you said, it's easy and it's not a big deal when you get getting into it.
Information and education, number one.
Yeah.
Secondly, there's so many things you were just saying, and I was like trying to count. I was trying to hold them on my fingers to remember what they were. And probably I should have had a pen and paper. So number one, guilt and fear, guilt, shame, fear. What's happened has happened, right? Whether you were quote unquote pathetic or your husband was quote unquote pathetic, words you just said. I was like, that language is out of here.
Yeah.
Also, don't be a victim.
Yeah.
You had opportunity.
Yeah.
You had opportunity, he had opportunity. It didn't
right.
happen. Regret serves no one anything.
Yeah.
Best time to plant a tree. I'm going to pull them all out now. Best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. And let's be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
We were busy.
Yeah,
When I had that
that's
conversation
true.
with
That's
my
true.
yes,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
busy, you were busy. Like in a traditional marriage, he was going out making the money and you were making babies. I know you also worked and I worked, but like those small kids are there. When I had that conversation with James, I'm assuming that one of my children was 1. I said 15 years ago. One was 2 and one was 1 or something. There's 19 months between them, whatever, 1 and 3 or something. Of course I didn't have time to do the research. There weren't podcasts around at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't have a smartphone in the same way that I do. There wasn't an app.
That's so true.
Like
That is
so
so true.
When
Yeah.
you look at everything around what you're
I
saying.
love that. Yeah, you're right. You're
Like,
right.
okay, so read that out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the past.
That's true.
And now I'm also going to tell you, like, really, the education through podcasts or other things, be wary of the apps. I think you just mentioned, I'm not 100% sure about all apps, but if it's too easy and they're kind of doing the investments for you, just watch out.
Okay.
You need to know the fees.
Yeah.
And you need to know what you're doing. And it's simpler than you think, but that's part of the education.
Yeah.
Don't blindly. So they're called robo apps or robo investors. I know. I'll tell you 2 I do know about, Plum and Wealthify. When I last checked their fees, they were actually quite high, and also often you're offered low, medium, high risk. If you're being asked those questions in order to make decisions for you, for sort of the past 15 years, if you've gone into something called low risk, you would have guaranteed a real loss of purchasing power. So it wasn't low. What do you consider low? Investing or definitely buying less sourdough at the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, now is the time. It isn't that difficult. When it comes to the money conversation, it took us 2.5 years to put all the knowledge we knew into this one course, and people ask me all the time, where shall I put it, whatever. And now I'm not allowed to tell anyone anyway. I'm not allowed to tell you anything. I'm a financial coach in that respect. I'm not a financial advisor.
Of course.
But financial advisors are building their retirement funds. They're not, that part of their motivation is to build their own retirement fund, not necessarily build yours.
Yeah.
So if you talk to me, you're paying for that advice if I'm a financial advisor, not in this context, and then fees have a massive impact on your money. So that I just want to sort of put that out there. And then the other thing I was about to say is, I looked it up the other day, and I think our life expectancy for me, born in 1976, was something like 92.
Oh.
So you're 50.
Yeah.
You've got 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's decades in the market that really work. And we've also found from the women who are mothers in our community who've sort of done the work and then have started to invest, they are now doing all of the work with the kids and teaching the kids, and we can already see those children are being born in a household where the mothers are empowered and the fathers or whatever, and James and I, because this has like been a conversation for 3 years in our household, my children sit at dinner. I know it sounds weird when I can get them to sit for dinner, obviously. They barely do these days. They're all so busy and everywhere. But when we sit for dinner, we discuss, there's conversations about stocks and shares and index funds and ETFs and things like that. And it blows my mind. They won't have what we did.
We see, I love that, because sometimes I do think, I mean, education is everything, right? And I think, like, my own parents, you know, who, you know, bless them, they've done really well for themselves, but very traditional, kind of like buy a property, made money, you know, that way, all the rest of it. To this day, my dad's 85, my mom's 75, they have a huge chunk just sitting in a savings account. And no matter how many times I just cry and scream, like, please don't, please don't. The banks can only guarantee 80 grand or whatever the figure is now. It's so dangerous to do that. And all my dad wants, like, his biggest thing is just to have, like, oh no, we want to sell this, sell that, and just have it all sitting in one place. He feels like really satisfied, right? But my point actually is that sometimes I think, God, I really wish that they had kind of spent a bit of time talking to me about savings, about, you know, like, do this or do that. I mean, obviously, this is, you know, many years ago, but fast forward to now, and like you say, there's no time like the present. I find that I'm doing that now with my kids as well, and I love it. I love it. You know, I have an 18-year-old who's, I have to say, terrible with money. You know, everything he has, he spends. But we've slowly started to say, okay, can you see this? Look at this interest rate. Like, put it in this and watch it. You can move it. And talking about it whilst I'm educating myself, educating them.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, again, like, there's just no time like now. I mean, they're still young. I mean, I literally say to myself, God, when his 18th birthday, I could have said, oh, here, this is what I've saved for you. Instead, it's the same poxy amount as, like, you know, it wasn't really that much. But I love the fact that they can learn and do this, and I want to instill that in them.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a really important part. I mean, the other thing that's really interesting is, for me, I come from a family where the attitude is really, I always say it's like a poverty mentality, where it doesn't matter how much you have. Like, when I think of my parents, they always have this poverty mentality. It's like they're always scrimping and saving.
Yeah.
You can never feel abundant, right? And it's only something now I'm 50 that I'm trying to have, because, like, always that feeling, like, you know, that narrative, oh, we're so tight, or oh, this or that, or oh, worried, even when you don't have to be worried.
Yeah.
And one of my goals now for myself is don't worry. And I do have that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see a lot of it is this inbuilt money, like poverty mentality, as just the way I've been brought up.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, look, I'm so lucky. I have this beautiful house, and
really
you know,
beautiful.
everything that we've sort of achieved. You're like, why am I not feeling good about it? You know, why does that keep creeping in? And again, I mean, this is a slightly different thing from investment, but it's like also instilling positive attitudes towards money.
Yeah.
Money isn't a dirty word.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I think it's so important. And, like, even for kids, it's like, you don't want them to go around being like, oh, I have blah, 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 and I've just invested. It's not about that.
Yeah.
But it's about having a really good relationship with money, I think.
I agree. And also manifestation comes into that. It's
Yeah.
like, if we're always looking at the negative, we're going to get the negative. If we look at the positive and open ourselves up. Have you heard of someone called Amit Sethi?
No.
So he's worth looking up. I hope I've said the name right. And he has, he's probably got a podcast and Instagram account and everything else, but it's Choose Your Rich. So work out what you most love to spend your money on, what's most important. Like, if it is that you want to travel business class on a flight, which, oh my God, once you've done it once, you never want to not do it again on long haul. But, you know, those flights are really, really expensive. That's fine, but maybe you don't need a brand new car.
Yeah.
Like, maybe your car can be 20 years old, because actually when you go on holiday, and he's like, choose your rich, and he says it far better than I am. So number one, work out what's important to you.
Yeah.
Work out what your pots are that you'd like to save for, number one. And the other thing, going back to your 18-year-old, one of the things that we talk about for like an 18th birthday is there's a platform called Trading 212, and it's completely free as of this moment. And you have to, unfortunately, keep an eye on things. But it's free to open up a stocks and shares ISA. So at 18 on Trading 212, instead of giving your children like stuff, if you give them, say, £100 or £50, honestly, you can, Trading 212, I think possibly the minimum at some point was that you need £20 for the first thing. If you make your own pie, I'm not going to explain that now, but don't take a chosen pie. That's all I have to say. Don't let them choose your pie. That's what I'm saying. You've got to be in the driving seat. Yeah. But if you gave them £100 in a Trading 212, you have to sit with them. It's in their name. They have to open up. They need their NI number and identity. But if you're like, this is what we're going to give you, they can put in, I believe, they can put in £5 a month, £10 a month. Yeah. And I literally...
Can they not take it out?
Now it's in their name. Oh. So a JISA, a junior ISA, you can't get one on Trading 212, but another platform's called Interactive Investor. They're a big company based up in, I feel, Inverness, actually, in Scotland. But
that's good for junior.
So, well, Hargreaves Lansdown to a free junior ISA. Because it's not me that tells me all these things, it's the community. Because I've got my kids on my Interactive Investor and I pay a standard monthly fee. I don't pay percentages. Okay. Because if you pay a percentage, that sounds really good. And this is what happens when you see a financial advisor or if you go to a wealth manager. I shan't name any, but there's some very sort of big, public ones that we talk about. If you go to wealth managers or financial advisors, they take a percentage. And if you're there at the beginning, you're like, oh, I've only got, £100. And they're like, well, let's put it in this product. Yeah. And, they might get 10 pence for that. But if you stick with them and then the next thing you know, you've got £1 million that you've put away, they're still taking that percentage. Yeah. And that's massive wealth erosion from your pot. Yeah. So being in control, but for children under 18, you can open the JISA. It is legally their money. But if you haven't told them it exists... I don't know what the legalities are around that. But if you open up a junior ISA, Hargreaves Lansdown have a free one. Interactive Investor do one. If you've got your own stocks and shares, you can put a JISA on there. Up until the age of 18, you're allowed to put 9,000. At the moment you are. There's discussions in the budget, but you're allowed to invest up to 9,000 a year. Okay. So the ISA structure is a tax wrapper, so they don't pay tax on any growth. Right. So if you start it early enough, we did some sums on the money conversation. I can't pull them out of my head, but we were like, just supposing you could, we did 2 lots of sums. When your child was born and you put 9,000 in and didn't touch it. And the other one was that you could afford to put 9,000 a year, which I appreciate most people don't. And for an adult ISA, you can put in £20,000 a year. But we did these sums and literally you're making millionaires. We are making millionaires by both of those things. That's incredible. But so we can do that now. Yeah. And if we didn't do it for ourselves, we can do it for our children and go back to being bad for, you said I'm bad with money, so clearly we need to not use that language. I'm learning how to spend my money wisely. Yeah. And as women, I have definitely, and I still do now, what do you call it when you shop just for... you don't really need to shop. You're just shopping because you need something. A bit of fulfillment. You're not shopping because... Therapy. Shopping therapy. Thank you very much. That's the word I was looking for. And we love a bit of retail therapy. Yeah, there we go. That's it. We love a bit of retail therapy and we might have, it's not my thing, but you might have buy handbags or shoes or whatever it is. And actually, what we've also found is that when people start investing and they've got an investment account and they're watching it, actually, it's just as exciting. It feels like you're not wasting your money when you put it in your investment, whereas it begins to feel a bit like, well, how many handbags have I got already? Yeah. Let's choose to put it here. So that's that. But I am just going to say, and I have to say it quickly because it's really playing on our minds at the moment, the market goes up and down. And every 10 years, the market generally has a downturn. And we're over 10 years. And the US leads the market because of the Magnificent Seven, which is all the big ones. I'm getting a bit technical now, but I never want to talk about investing without saying the other side to investing. So the markets are due to take a downturn. And then people are like, well, why don't I wait? Why don't I wait till they take a downturn? The issue is, will it be in a day? Will it be in a week? Will it be in a month? Will it be in 6 months? Will it be in 12 months? Everyone's asking whether AI is going to prop it up or not prop it up, but a lot of the big AI players aren't making profit. So there's a sort of inflation around their valuation, for want of a different word. The way that we look at it is investing is a long-term, I'm going to use the word game. You're better to go in it because what growth might you miss before a drop? But if your money drops, unless you know something better, unless you've got an edge, we're just trying to go with the market. So as the prices of goods go up, we're putting our money in those prices of goods. We're buying, not sourdough bread because it'll be mouldy, won't it? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're buying products, we're buying AI chips. So we're just staying with the market. That means if the market turns down, you must have emergency funds. You do need to have some cash.
Yeah.
You do need to have some cash. And that sounds very dramatic, but because we were just talking about so much on the one side,
Yeah.
I have to talk about the other because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to sell you anything and I'm not talking BS at anybody. You know, we have to understand what we're doing and education.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet now. I can't help it. Once I get started.
Oh
on the
no,
money
I
thing.
love it. I love it. I love it. And it's so important, Lisa, because it's incredible how many people, how many women who have no idea, you know, and like what I said, I was relying on my husband, like very naively, right? I'm an independent person. I didn't, you know, but I really was.
Yeah.
And I feel so empowered as I'm kind of taking that control.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really, really have to say, I was definitely that person every season. I mean, I'm terrible. I love shopping, retail therapy.
Yeah.
And I would be buying X, Y, Z, and I wouldn't even blink. And to me, and I'm not knocking it because I really bloody enjoyed it. Okay.
Yeah.
It just
Fantastic.
It
Celebrate
worked
it.
well for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it was bad. But I'm going through a stage now where I get just as much enjoyment putting stuff on Vinted and selling it.
Yeah.
Buying something on Vinted at a quarter the price,
Yeah.
you know, like a high-end item.
Didn't you buy a fabulous coat?
Yeah,
Yes,
I did. And
Yeah.
Lisa, the joy, it was like, I love that coat, but it was double because I was like, oh wow, I've really saved some money here.
Yeah. And sustainability.
Exact sustainability,
Everything.
I think, is a huge point because I do feel like, God, there's so much waste, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's terrible. And I get so much joy now in that, but more than ever, I have a joy of not spending.
Yes.
Like you said, you know how you said it's really good, like getting the hits if you invest and watch. But I'm having a negative effect of like when I'm not just buying X, Y, Z, I get a hit. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't, you know. And I'm trying to like really sort myself out.
Yeah.
And it feels really great, you know. It's the first time. It's only taken me 50 years, but guess what? It's happening, and
Yeah.
I feel great about it. But one thing actually, I just want to tell you this little story, right? Because it kind of touched on a couple of things you said. One, when you mentioned manifesting,
Yeah.
and the second, choose your rich. This summer, my nephew was over from the States, and he said to me, oh, I wondered, do you think we could go on a yacht? Now, he just lives in La La Land, right? And I was like, and I said, well, I think that's really expensive. And then I looked at him and I went, why not? Why not? Let me look into it because I want to see how much does it cost to like maybe rent for a week and then I can start saving.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like that was choosing my rich, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And literally, I looked into it and it was like 20 grand, 30 grand, 40. And then I was like, no, really small yacht, you know, like 2-bedroom yacht, you know, like, I don't know. We'll just squeeze.
Pedalo.
Exactly. And then I just looked at it and I went, oh God. And I said, but you know what? And I just said this to myself, it's going to happen because this is me we're talking about. Fast forward to last week. So I mentioned in my podcast, you know, I had this big fundraiser.
Yeah.
And I had to give this speech and everything. Anyway, the live auction came. Now, never can I ever, so up until now, bid on these live auctions because it's like money bags, you know, like suddenly things go crazy prices. Yeah. And there was a prize 1 week on a yacht in Croatia.
Oh my God.
And Croatia, I also mentioned on my podcast, was like this magical place. I went for the first time in September and I said to myself, I've got to come back here.
Yeah.
And this prize came up and I said to my husband, I mean, we saw it in advance. I said, we're going to get that. And he was like, listen, don't be ridiculous. I said, hang on a second. How much would we spend on our summer holiday? And he said to me, X amount, right? I said, fine, that will be our limit. And there we were, and
I'm tingling.
He was across the table, right? And they gave us these glow sticks to bid.
Yeah.
And the auctioneer starts it, and I'm just sitting there as if I have to do this all the time. I've never done it in my life, right? And then suddenly he's like, blah, blah, and everyone's silent. Someone's like bidding, and then they stop. He goes, is there anyone else? And I get my little glow stick, and I'm like, me. And I say the amount, and he's like, and then it goes up again, and it goes up again, and I'm like, oh my God, is it going to go past my limit?
Yeah.
And it stopped just at my limit. The amount that I would anyway spend for a summer holiday. And he's like, going, gone. And I've got that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And
I love
it's just amazing. And then at the end of the night, I met the guy who donated the gift. And his wife was there, and she was like, oh, it's just fantastic. It's not like a crazy big thing, but it's beautiful. 3 bedrooms. And I was like, I was like, I'm so excited. Like, you have no idea. But you know what? I chose my rich. And I made it happen. And like, it just felt like, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but at the same time, that money I'm giving goes 100% to the charity.
Yeah.
So I've got this incredible, like, I would do anything for that charity because it's my son has type 1 diabetes, and, I want to support. But I get this.
That's your return on investment, isn't it?
Yeah.
The joy, the double joy.
Yeah.
It's like the sustainability on Vinted, and knowing that all your money, this lovely couple that that gave that prize, and you're getting it, and all the money goes to charity.
I know.
Oh, and now you've enlightened in me that I want to go on a yacht. I said something once about the money conversation, and I've got this. People say, what you can do with the money conversation. I said, I'm going to build it and then sell it for 10 million in 5 years. There's 2 reactions to that. One is, oh, really? a little bit. I say I don't hear people's negative stuff, but I do think people look at me and they think, who are you to say that? And like, I am on a mission. Everything I do, I'm on a bloody mission, Anu, I promise. And I'm on a mission, but I thought, I'm fed up with all the men just saying that they're going to build something and sell it. Do you know what I mean? Let's do it for the women, is what I'm thinking. So now I'm like, we are making millionaires. Like, I am positive the money conversation is making millionaires. And 1 course that's under an hour long will give you everything about fees, diversifying, risk, emergency funds. We're not trying to hide anything. We're not trying to like steal all your money or do anything like that. We're educating people in simple terms. And I'm determined now. So 2 reactions. One, it's like, right, I'll build it and I'll sell it for 10 million in 5 years' time. So one is like, oh, who are you? And the other reaction that I've had from people, 10 million, why not 100?
Oh my God.
And one of my lines, and I know this other friend of mine will tell me on that, it's like, I don't want a yacht or anything. And then I paused and I was like, I want a yacht. Like, it's kind of like, and I don't know that I do want a yacht.
Yeah,
I'd be very happy for a week in Croatia.
Exactly, exactly.
But it's like, I want the fun and the why not.
Yeah.
It's the why not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why can't we want a yacht?
Absolutely. And why can't we make it happen?
Yeah.
And we can make it happen.
Yeah.
That's what I love. And it's like, we sort of touched on this briefly, where you have enough people around you who are sort of like, putting a Debbie Downer on things, and how you said earlier, I try not to hear the negativity. Like, I really...
Not try.
I don't. That's great, because I think that's the one thing for me personally that gets me down, is the sort of negativity, the kind of, where people are not happy when you're happy.
Yeah.
And
God, yeah. If you're sick,
if
you're sick, they'll come round to see you and build you soup or bring you soap. Soap.
Soup, yeah.
But no.
Yeah. And then obviously the ones who are happy when you're happy, those are the keepers, right?
Yeah.
Those are the most incredible people in your life. And I'm so grateful, those relationships, where you have people and you're just like, wow, I love you because the joy you bring me.
Yeah.
But it is incredible. There are very few of those. And the amount of people who literally you just think, oh my God. I mean, even doing what I'm doing, it's like, I can see so clearly people who are just like they've been so wonderful. They're like, oh, we listen to you every week, and others who are just like, oh, and 9 out of 10 times, or maybe even 10 out of 10, they're just not happy in themselves. And naturally, they see you, they see, oh my God, look what you're doing, and blah, 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 anything to put you down, anything to whatever. But I don't know how to block that noise out. And I find like the negativity, and that's something that I'm trying to like really do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't push me down. And I think that's normal. It kind of hits in with all of the themes, imposter syndrome.
I was about to say,
negativity.
it goes
round, right?
But lots of women tell me, so I did a post on Walking This Way and it was about wobbly bodies. I mean, it went bonkers. I don't know how many hits and likes and shares it's got. I can't remember. Obviously, I'm menopause-like. I don't remember what my name is most days, but maybe it got 6,000 shares or something like that. I mean, it's got, and it was just me on a beach in a bikini and it was wobbly bodies. Yeah, that's the post. And so many women said to me, I could never wear a bikini, all sizes, shapes, whatever. I could never wear a bikini. You look so happy and free. How did you manage to wear a bikini? It took me 10 years. I didn't own a bikini until like 2-3 years ago. Now you can't get me out of it. Literally, I'll walk down the high street because it's so much nicer. And they say because other people snigger, other people push you down, other people. And I believe a lot of the time it's not other people.
It's you. It's your head.
It's the voice in your head.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes from our mother. Some people's comes from their father, sister, somebody in their life. From childhood, the voice is in there. That voice, that self-critic was there to keep us safe. So at times it had to rein us in. You know, when we were little, or we'd put our finger on the fire and someone would say, no, don't, you know. We needed to be stopped and reined in sometimes from being free. We're now old enough that if we can become aware of that voice, we no longer have to listen to it.
Yeah.
So number one is, thank you for coming in to protect me and tell me not to wear a bikini or tell me not to do a podcast or tell me not to do these things that I know will light my fire. Thank you for being there. But now if you could just leave the room, that'd be very nice. And the more we become aware of that, the more that some people name it. Some people name the voice as an external thing. And it's like, thanks, Bob. You can leave the room now. So that's a really, really powerful way. Like it's not always external. We find it easier to say it's external, but actually it's internal, number one.
That's so interesting.
And secondly, in midlife, we're realigning with our mission, our vision, our purpose. And often we declutter around that time as well. We decide that you're talking about clothes or going on Vinted or whatever, or selling on Vinted. We're sort of decluttering, and I think it's really healthy to declutter our friends as well.
Yeah.
Like there's a time, that's hard work, yeah? It's our choice to choose our boundaries. And so often, if I have set my boundary to you here, let's say, and you're used to coming to me here, that's hard to say on a podcast, isn't it? If I've got a weak boundary and you're allowed to come in and energy vampire me the whole time, and you know I'm trying to fix you and people please, and you're allowed to be in my house 24/7 and come on my yacht and you know whatever, and I find you exhausting, but that's what I do. That is my fault. That's not your fault. I've let you come in this far.
Yeah.
So my job now is to identify, okay, this situation doesn't serve my energy. And I think in menopause, we've got less energy for the day. Like I definitely have a spurt in the morning, and by 3 o'clock, I like a little lie down for 10 minutes. But then my job is to reset my boundary, and really genuinely resetting your boundary is probably pushing that person, that energy away.
Yeah.
It can be our parents, it can be our friends, it can be anyone. So we have to reset it. And when that starts to happen, they get angry. Of course they get angry. Of course they get angry. Be kind to their anger, because you're like, well, that was my fault. I left my boundary right here and let them step all over me. And now I'm saying I don't want you stepping all over me, and now they're angry. Well, take responsibility. We let it be here. We're moving it to there. There will be a difficult period in that. And ultimately, if people don't accept that, when I say have a good declutter, and that includes your friends, some people are like, Lisa, you can't say that. You won't have any friends left. But I'm like, my friendships have changed massively over the last 10 years. Massively. Yeah. I was the boozy mum. I could get everybody going until 3 o'clock in the morning on a Monday night, school night. And it was like, I was known for it. Such good fun. I'm not as fun anymore. I'm not as fun in that respect
In
anymore.
that respect,
In that
yeah,
respect. So I
yeah.
don't have those relationships anymore.
Yeah.
But if you want to come and like struggle up a mountain with me, I'm your
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I love
true
it.
friends have coffee and wine. No,
Yeah.
sorry, friends will have coffee and wine together. True friends will go and have a struggle together because that's
Yeah.
where the joy is.
That is so
So,
true. But you know, one thing you mentioned, the wobbly bodies post.
Yeah.
I wanted to just mention my favourite post. You know, the I don't give a fuck anymore. The dance. I cannot tell you how much I love that.
Oh,
Like, honestly, it makes me feel so many emotions, right? One is sheer joy.
yeah.
And you know when you put your fingers up in the air, it's like, it feels so good. I feel empowered by that.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. And it's just like, it helped me.
Oh.
And it's just, I love it. I love it so much. I downloaded the song straight away.
Yeah.
And I
It's
put
a great song.
It's a great song. And I have it in my car. I
Yeah.
think of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dancing in my underwear, not even a bikini, but I did put red shoes on and a red handbag for some reason. Don't ask me why. It goes in my head and I think, let's do that. You know,
Oh, Lisa, it was fantastic.
Oh,
and
I'm
it's
so
just,
pleased.
You know, and it's just, I really love that. And I love what you're saying, that it's the voice in our head. And I'm sure doing everything you're doing, you have probably overcome. It's been therapy for yourself, doing each and every little step. And
Yeah.
I think that's just so incredible. It's just fantastic.
And it is a joy. I was just going to say that's a great song for when Bob comes into your head.
Yeah, that
if you're like, oh, Bob, you're here again.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, off you go. So that's a great song for there. But thank you. But it is my therapy. It is
Yeah.
the stories and other women. And like, I cannot tell you, I hope at some point I will share them on my podcast. But 2 people told me 2 very profound stories yesterday, midlife women. And they blew my mind, both of them. Like, I'm in this space a lot. And then, amazingly, 2 new stories came into, 2 new perspectives. Like, I'm always growing, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
And now I get to learn in the company of all these gorgeous midlife women who uphold me, who help me, who... I did stories this morning. I was walking just locally and I got in a mood with everyone and I woke up with a headache. And I was really arsey. I was in the house and I was waiting to go for a walk with my husband, and we've got 3 dogs and one yaps a lot, and my husband was just on his phone when I was trying to do something for work, and I was like, just get the dog ready. You know, like you feel like, why can't anybody know this? And in the end, I sort of opened the door. I said, I'm taking this dog, one dog. Shut the door and walked out. And I left, you know, far from perfect. Everybody says to me, oh, like, you're all so joyous. And I was like, oh, you haven't seen my resting bitch face. Because that is my boundary. You know, there's a point past which I don't let people come because my energy would be depleted. And I went and did a little circuit just round locally to get out in this gorgeous day. And I felt teary, Annie. You know, I'm not joyous. It's not that I'm dancing in red shoes the whole time. And I was like, oh, I think it was these 2 profound stories, actually. And I felt teary, and I just did my dog walk. And I always say, if you don't let the tears come out, they'll stay as fat later on. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just process. And I was there on my own. I did a video. I put it on Instagram because I put lots of things on Instagram, which people are like, well, it's really weird that you can film yourself. And that's my space. Yeah. That's my space. And those are the people. I don't have the people on Instagram that only come when I'm down. They come all the time, and they come with their stories. In fact, in response to the tears, somebody told me another story this morning. And actually, I always say to people, put a rainbow light around yourself. You know, put that protection spell or whatever you want to call it. And I feel very, very, very blessed and grateful. In fact, I'm going to cry. for just women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women, men, God love you. You need your own shit sorting out as well. They need help. They need men to show up.
They need this.
They need
a man to come out there going, walk this way with me now.
Yeah.
And these are all my issues and all repressed inside. We're so good at talking about it and letting it out. But look at them, you know, and you just think, God, if you had that, you'd be, I feel like I'm in a completely different place to my husband. And, you know, bless him, he's incredible. I love him to pieces. but just where I'm at in life mentally.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when I was younger, I always used to be like, oh, I just want to be happy, you know, all of this, and I am a happy person. I'm very optimistic and all the rest of it. But the shift now in middle age is, I just want contentment, and there is a difference. And you know, it's so interesting what you said about like when I go on a dog walk, I have this incredible sense of contentment. I just feel so contented.
Yeah.
And I'm so good with that.
Yeah.
I don't need much more.
Yeah.
And it's really joyous, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that's what I just want to achieve, is to be in that space. And like you said, you've got Bob coming in your head and, you know, Sharon and all.
The whole committee.
The whole committee and all the whole, you know, jing bang lot kind of like trying to bring you down, self-doubt, this, that. What I love is what you said, that it's yourself, it's in you, and it's working at that, which is just so powerful, right? It's so good, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, could it be, you know, whatever, my shit relationship with my brother that's bringing me down, or this or that. There is all of those external factors.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think the buck stops with you, right? For yourself. And I think that's just incredible, like your journey, my journey, and like you said, women in general, what we're going through, and just getting it out. I feel so light.
Yeah. That's true. It's exactly that. Like, if something comes to me in my brain that I feel shameful about, I can't tell you how many posts I've done where I just suddenly turn on my camera because something's come into me, or it's made my cheeks flush. I've had a thought about something. I can't even think of one now. Well, of course, the first time I posted myself in my underwear, you know, on Instagram, size, I don't even know what size I am, maybe a 20, maybe an 18 some days, maybe I'm a 24 some days, but 20 stone. And I was like, oh, can I put this out there? Complete shame. So that was the first time I did it. And the feedback was amazing. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do it again then. You know, and so whenever anything comes to me and I'm like, oh, that's awful, that makes me feel bad. I copied someone's Instagram reel once, word for word, and it made me feel so shameful because 2 of the comments said, can we see the original? Because I said, I saw this woman, but I copied her words word for word. She's called Holly Edwards, I'll just tell you that now. Anyway, and so I was like, oh my God, I'm really sorry. Like, this is what happened. People were like laughing at me, like, this is Instagram. This is even Holly Edwards. I was like, I'm going to tag her. I'm going to find her.
Exactly.
Like, go follow her. I think Holly Edwards probably got like 300 more followers that day because I was like, and she was gorgeous. She came back and said, oh no, it's fine. Like, you know, and I said, and Holly might have copied it off someone, I don't know, but I just, you know, and as soon as there's shame, I put it out there, and shame doesn't hide in the light, right? Shame doesn't hide in the light. So the minute that you speak that out, you are lighter because you've let it out. And the second thing about what you just said is don't be a victim. Like whatever your relationship with whoever it is that might need healing, don't be a victim, because if you're a victim and someone else is doing something to you, which as women, we often feel like, oh, that's being done to me. You know, you were cross at the beginning about your husband. Well, that was done to you in some way, or why didn't he do this or whatever. Don't be a victim, because the minute you put it outside of yourself, you have no control of changing something. And if we have a relationship that doesn't serve us, don't be a victim. We have a choice. We can go away and think and say, well, okay, I'll tolerate this relationship actually because of X, Y, Z, but I'm going to do it in this way or this way. And actually, this is the furthest that I will accept going. Or I don't tolerate that relationship anymore. You know, and life isn't easy. Life isn't easy. It's not all about happiness.
Yeah.
It's about contentment.
Yeah.
And protecting our peace.
Yeah.
I think when we get to this age, it's
absolutely
all about our peace. Does that protect our peace? Because we want to have peace and presence.
Yeah.
And if somebody's treading on that peace, then we get to choose. Doesn't mean it's easy. It's never easy.
So true.
But yeah.
I totally agree, Lisa. You know, I could just talk to you all day. It's so long. But what I know, I am conscious of time, and I hope you don't mind if I do we sort of end this with our banter quickfire round.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be so quick, but...
Okay.
But I just wanted to ask, a few banter questions. So as you know, with my podcast, it's a really big deal for me. I love recommendations.
Yeah.
What is what can you tell me is the best TV show that you've seen?
You mentioned it on your podcast, although I think you mismentioned it the other day. Slow Horses.
Yeah, I mismentioned and I said it in the next one. Yes,
I can't
absolutely.
remember what you called it, but I did really love it. Whatever you did call it.
Yeah.
I think I was listening. I was like, I'm sure she means Slow Horses.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed. James and I, we like a good box set. I like a box set for a while, and then I don't want to watch TV again because I've got too much to do.
Yeah.
But we adored Slow Horses. I think as the series have gone on, it's a little bit like cashing in on old stock, but absolutely adored that. So it's the same one as you, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's all right.
Down Cemetery Road's all right. It's the follow-on.
Yeah.
And I adore Emma Thompson.
She's just so good.
She's so clever. I could just watch her. Fangirl. So,
exactly. Yes.
That's that one.
Okay. What about the best book you've read recently? Or is that a really difficult one? Or even something you've read ages ago?
So I'm going to tell you two books. One is from I'll tell you the one from now, and I'm only halfway through, so I haven't finished it. But I have to put it out my bag because I have to check.
Ooh.
Believe. SM. It's a new release. She's called Sarah Govet. That was our book club book. I'm only halfway through. Don't tell me the end. She turned up at book club the other day at the Plough with us.
No.
So someone in our book club had met. She's local, and so if you've got local people, I can share there is a murder in Sheen Woods.
Oh my God.
I know. So that's quite fun, but I don't know the ending.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say that's one book. A book from a very long time ago, and I'm going to share this, but I was very heavily pregnant with my third child at the time. And I think it probably made me cry for 3 months. So it's so depressing. I don't know if you'll have read it, but A Fine Balance by
I have read it.
Mystery.
I love that book. I thought
think
it was
might be my favourite book of all time.
The one set in India.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought that was... Oh, there's just so much there.
Emotions.
Yeah.
And it was horrific.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's absolutely horrific.
I love the historical content as well, and the sort of Indira Gandhi and the roundups and the raids and all. I mean, it was incredible. I agree with you.
It's one of the most. I have to say, I had to double check on it when you said about this yesterday, and to get the author's name. And I would like to read it. I would like to read it again, but it has stuck in my head. So my youngest is 13. So I read it 13 years ago. And I just couldn't stop crying. And James was like, why have you just read that book? And I was like, I didn't know what I was reading until I was reading it. And you're so drawn into it. And like you said, the history, the understanding, the culture. Like, I've been to India a few times, and we were in Delhi 2000, just before COVID lockdown. And I just felt like in some way I was still watching some of it. So that would be my book. But it's not a chick lit holiday read. It's like change your life a little bit.
Yeah.
Read. So that's that one.
Love it. Favourite restaurant?
I don't even know if it's still open, but Fanous.
Oh, it's not.
Has it gone?
But I think it's reopening.
Oh, God. They've been messing with me for a few months.
Yeah,
like it's been open or not open on the high street.
Yeah, because I saw it's being sort of like
people are busy there.
Yeah. Is that your favourite restaurant?
Do you know what? The other one was Sam's Brasserie down on the riverside.
Okay.
Or Sam's Riverside, I think it's called.
Yeah.
On the Hammersmith side.
Oh,
Have you been there?
The one that's near Riverside Studios?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one. Sam, he's called Sam. I can't remember his surname. I love that restaurant. I mean, that's proper white tablecloth. They're two extremes, but one's proper white tablecloth.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to drink, I want the world's best cocktail.
Yeah.
And I quite like a vodka martini straight off hit. But and they do all of those there and delicious fish. So both of them, because Fanous is more like a family. They do these garlic breads on an oven.
Oh, it's so
and they are the best.
And you used to be able to bring your own bottle?
I think, well, last time you could do that. But when the kids were younger, my daughter is vegetarian, but we can always get something perfect for everybody there.
Yeah.
So that was a good family, not too pricey. In fact, always remarkably not pricey.
Yeah.
So again, I've gone both ends of the spectrum.
Love it.
Sorry, I can't commit to one choice.
And do you like cooking, Lisa?
I bloody love it. But I saw some of the stuff that you've done looks absolutely incredible. In fact, there was two things, I can't even remember what they were, it started off with you having sweet potatoes. But I was watching, I was like, you're an incredible cook.
No, well, I love cooking. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm an incredible cook, but I just love cooking.
So,
But the thing is, for me,
Yeah.
it's got to be easy. I can't be doing ottolenghi a gazillion ingredients.
so my first word there is ottolenghi. And you will also say I've brought a book with me, and I just have to see if I could, because what I meant to do was look it up before I came, which I didn't do. So sorry, everybody, you have to wait. So two things. The first recipe, Anu, I can't answer a quick fire question with one answer. It's not possible. It's going to cause you years of trouble. So the first one was, I wonder if I've got the wrong cookbook. The first one was ottolenghi's roasted cauliflower with the harissa oil. Ooh, have you done it?
No.
Cheap as chips, comes out really well.
Really?
And it's cauliflower, like obviously a cauliflower, and you just put it in with all this yummy stuff. Like he's got butter in it, but I did it for vegans with olive oil only. And you put different types of chili in, but of course I've never got all the different types of chili that ottolenghi's got, so I put whatever I've got. It's my thing, and you roast it in the oven.
Ooh,
as a side dish.
Yeah.
And
I love
it's
that.
quite, cauliflower can be quite like a potato, so
Yeah.
it kind of can work on
Yeah.
that front. And then the other dish that I'm really struggling, because I should have done the work before I came along, sorry Anu.
That's all right.
This is a New Zealand friend of mine, and she runs delis out there called Ripe, and she has 3, don't even know if you can get them in this country, but she has 3 cookbooks, and one of them, have I bought the right one? Oh, there we go, page 94. Bear with me. This is dreadful podcast.
I love that you bought your recipe book with you.
Because I've been watching Banter, like listening to Banter, watching. Right, look. I should have known. It's the page that's stuck together. And it's Ripe's Manuka hot smoked salmon. And all I'm going to tell you, I can give you the recipe so you can share it. But you marinate the salmon. So often, flash sales. I shop on Ocado, sorry, it's so middle class. And they do flash sales, and every now and then you get a massive side of salmon.
Yeah.
40% off. It's my dream.
Yeah.
So I buy the salmon, I put this marinade on it, and then I stick it in the freezer. And then when I want a family meal that's like, like a side of salmon that's as big as a loaf of bread size, because we're talking, not on video. But so you marinate it in like brown sugar, Himalayan salt, fennel seeds, cumin seeds, pomegranate molasses, fresh orange juice, fresh lemon juice. Then there's a glaze on it that's got maple syrup, cumin, smoked paprika, fresh lemon juice. I've made that for family meals,
And
dinner
it's a winner.
parties. It's a winner.
Oh, I love
Because it's got that like lemon, it's got sort of lemon spices and the sweet, the brown sugar. So it makes it really, is the word unctuous? I don't even know if I made that up. But so that one's right. This is her third helping.
Can you share that recipe?
I will share. I'll
take
send you a photo.
Yeah, I'd love
And
that.
it's just a go-to.
Yeah.
But you can marinate it and stick it in the freezer. And then when you need one, it's just ready to. I put it in a plastic bag.
I love it. Because that's the thing, when you have a dinner party or just friends over, when you've got that fail-safe recipe, I love it. Yeah. So I'm going to try that.
It's very you. And in fact, you could serve it with the roasted cauliflower.
But, yeah.
I've given you a whole menu.
Exactly. Perfect. Oh my God, I had so much fun today, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so grateful for your support and everything. And I can't wait to have you back on the podcast.
Oh, Anu, well, you're going to have to come back on mine. But I feel very privileged to be your first guest.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited.
I really do. Thank you so much. And you've just let me, my favourite topic, talk about me. 1 hour of me talk.
Win-win.
Oh, no, Anu, really beautiful. And that was a really lovely conversation. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
So that's it for episode 9 of Banter this week. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to Lisa, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Please don't forget to rate or review the show on Apple or Spotify. It will mean the world to me. I look forward to seeing you next week on Banter.
I don't give a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore, a fuck anymore.